everyone. Welcome back. This is episode 4 of the Best Friends podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I did a poll on Instagram and the consensus was either a general Q&A or a recap of 75 Hard. So we're going to give you both. This is, my name is Lee Marie. This is my best friend, Robin, and this is our podcast. So welcome. If you're new here, please leave us a comment and tell us what you think. And if you have any questions for us. And I am a fitness instructor, personal trainer, and sports nutritionist. Robin is the best sales manager ever for any business that she touches, but currently it's at F45. And so if you have any questions on fitness, on nutrition, on challenges, weight loss, fat loss, phases, we've done them all. We've run the gamut.
Wow.
Yes. And or on gyms and signing up, or F45, or different styles of workouts. We can both put in our inputs. Also, if you have any relationship questions, this is a podcast about relationships, all kinds of relationships. And so Robin and I have very different takes. So throw out your questions. Chances are one of us will be able to have input. We may not have the answer, but we'll be able to give input on that. But we first wanted to start by talking about the 75 Hard Challenge that I just finished on Sunday. So this is my third time. We've both done it 3 times now. Third time. This was the second time I had to restart. So the second time that I did it, so round 2 for me, I had to restart because I was doing a competition in Washington, D.C., and I did not feel safe walking outside. So I just decided to restart after that. I didn't do my outdoor walk because I didn't know the area of the city and I didn't feel safe doing that. And I was competing, so I just let it go and I started over. This time around on day 30, I got really bad food poisoning and couldn't keep my gallon of water down. So I had to restart. I gave myself about, 2-3 days to kind of work that out of my system, make sure that I could keep food down, keep water down. Restarted, just finished on Sunday. Robin, would you like to share your story this round?
Oh, this round, yeah. So started on January 1st with her. And I got to day 74 and got the stomach flu. Same story, couldn't keep anything down. And so I finally had to throw in the towel. And I had, when I failed, I had no intention of restarting. But I got a couple days past the pissed offness. And I jumped back on a couple of days later. And so today's day 31 for me. So back at it again. So.
That. Okay. So I want to talk about the second time we did it, I think. And so the first time we did it, I think it was my idea.
Yep.
Yes, because I'm obsessed with a company called First Form and with their CEO, Andy Frisella, and his podcast, Real AF. So you should check out all of those things. They're all amazing. And he is the one that wrote 75 Hard, the 75 Hard Challenge. And it is not a fitness or weight loss challenge at all. It is a mental toughness challenge. So if you're looking at a fitness or weight loss challenge, and then you look at that could be the result of this. It probably will be the result, but that's not the point. So it could be kind of confusing. And you could wonder, well, why is that in there if you're not aware that it's actually a mental toughness program? So it's specifically and purposefully putting you in hard situations every single day to test and build your mental toughness. It kind of seems unnecessary at times, but it's teaching you how to go through hard things on purpose. Like you are choosing to put yourself through these hard things without complaining, without making excuses, and with no deviation. And then the biggest thing is if you miss any one tiny thing out of this challenge any day, you start over. And that is what really tests your mental toughness. And I've heard Andy say, I hope everyone has to start over at one point because that is the true test of mental toughness. Will you follow through? And so I loved that about this challenge. And so I convinced Robin to do it with me somehow. I don't even remember how. Do you remember how? No. Anyways, the first time we did it, I feel like the fear of God, except it was the fear of 75 hard, was over us, and we did not miss anything at any time, and we just happened to get lucky and not sick.
Yeah.
And we finished the 75 days the first time without failing. The second time, did I fail first and
No.
restart? No. Okay. So the second time, you asked me to do it with you.
Nope,
Yes.
nope,
Pretty sure.
nope. You and Casey were gonna do it. You and Casey were gonna do it.
Who is Casey? So sorry.
Cleveland.
Oh, I remember
I
that.
remember the conversation. You were gonna do it with Casey. I think Casey asked you to do it, and I just happened to be in the studio that day, and
Okay.
you're like, you need to do it with me, and I'm like, nope, nope, nope,
Blocked
nope.
that out of my mind.
Yeah,
Okay.
But then you were texting me that night, and somehow I agreed to it, but I was not.
So
It
that
was
makes
not.
way more sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Casey, that's right. Okay, Casey asked me to do it. Okay, this is when, through this whole experience was when I learned if you are going to go through any sort of self-improvement journey, you need to do it for you.
Yep.
You cannot do it for anyone else. You cannot do it with anyone else. They need to be on their own journey and you can support them, but you can't go on the exact same journey together, because what happens is one of you is going to fail or give up, and then you're going to resent them for that. So what happened during this was I agreed to do it with Casey. Gosh, I remember that. Thank you. Her brain is
I
to remind you guys.
everything.
She does. It's why I have her on this. This is why we keep her around. Okay. What happened was my friend Casey, she failed it and did not, like, I'm expecting, okay, cool, well, you're starting over tomorrow then, right? And she didn't. And I felt like that was sort of like, I resented her because I was doing it with her. But since I was so dedicated to something, I can't start something and not finish. So I couldn't quit. I felt like I was trapped and I had to finish this, even though I didn't need this. I was doing it to support her. And I realized while finishing that, and then I failed and had to start over, because I'm not one to quit. I will not let myself quit anything that is probably a fault of mine. So I had to start over and finish. And this whole time I'm resenting it because I'm doing it for someone else and not for me. And I learned that. And I learned that lesson good. I finished it. And then January 1st, or we're leading up to January 1st, and Robin asks me to do it with her. And I thought, I can't, like, I think I even said, did I say no at first?
You
Or did I
did.
just say, yeah,
You flat out. said
because
no.
I needed to do it for me. I knew that I couldn't do it for anyone else. So then I think it was kind of like the same thing. I thought about it and I thought, no, I want to start the year off strong. I think this will help me with my off season. It'll hold me accountable to eating all of my calories that I need to get in. It'll hold me accountable to getting all my steps in and my workouts and everything. And I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. And then I must have just gotten back to you and told you that I was going to do it.
Well, that's when we started working out together here, and like we started hanging out more. Can I talk about my second time, like doing
Yes,
it though,
please.
when I agreed to do it?
Yes.
I knew I was not all in. I let her tell. I'm like, okay, I'll just do it. I'll do it.
So you did it for me,
Yeah.
not you.
Yes.
You kind of learned the same lesson.
100%. And so at that time,
Want to talk about why you weren't going? Were you just in a headspace that you weren't going?
yeah, I was just not all in mentally at all. Like I hadn't even like considered it, but like any opportunity to do something with this one, I'm gonna, okay, let's do it. But I was also traveling a ton for work at that time, like a ton. I was gone for weeks at a time.
I kind of used that as an excuse for you too. I was like, this is gonna hold you accountable to get your workouts in while you're traveling.
Yes.
Otherwise you're not gonna.
Yes. And so, but I failed, like I was only like 2 weeks in when I failed. And I text Casey and Lee Marie and I let them know I failed. My feelings were so hurt because you didn't even ask me. You just assumed that I had a drink, I think, because we had this conversation later.
Gosh.
You just assumed that I had had a drink and it wasn't alcohol at all. I had fallen asleep with a book on my chest and didn't read my 10 pages, but you never asked me. And then you, I felt like you got mad at me because I didn't want to restart, because you're like, you're starting again tomorrow, right? And I'm like, I need a moment. And then
That
that's
was
it.
why I thought it was alcohol
Yeah.
too. because you weren't gonna restart.
So, anyway.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good.
This is like live,
This is live therapy.
relationship drama right here, guys.
That's not drama, I just like the things we carry with us and the misconceptions, perceptions, whatever it is. Yeah, like, you know,
Yeah,
so,
yep.
anyway.
I don't actually remember why Casey failed, but I think it was because of a macros thing. Like,
Yeah, I think so
she went
too.
over
It
the
was,
macros,
yeah,
like, she just was too
yeah.
hungry to eat more.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that was our experience. So then this time, okay. So this time I had to start over. So I knew that Robin was gonna get done about a month ahead of me. And that just was just kind of like, oh, this is gonna be a bummer. So then she texted me on day, what, 73, I think?
Yeah.
That you were starting to feel bad. And I was like, girl, head down, finish this challenge, do not. And then you text me and it was just like, I can't do it. I can't. This is like, this sucks.
Yeah.
So then I wanted to be like, hey, basically did it. But I knew that, I mean, they drill it so hard into you that if you fail on day 74, you didn't complete it. If you fail on day 75, you didn't complete it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was so impressed with you starting. Like, I don't know if I would have started over.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you texted me that you were starting over, I was like, hell yes, you are. Like, let's go. And I knew that I would be with you the first 30 days because I'm, and so then I got done. I'm not doing it again, but so far I have done everything every day because, and I posted something on my story besides take the progress picture, which I don't do, but I do check-ins with my coach for prep. But I wrote in my story the other day too, when I finished, that it's not about the challenge. It's not about the weight loss. It's not about the diet. It's not about finishing something. It's about establishing and making healthy habits and turning them into a healthy lifestyle. So often it starts with the challenge, but then you want to make those things habits. Habits still take effort, but it's something that you don't have to choose to do. You still have to do, you have to make the effort of doing them. But it's not a should I, shouldn't I. The challenge takes care of that. It takes it off the plate. There's no should I, shouldn't I. You're doing it because you're doing the challenge. Then you start seeing the results of the challenge, whether it's mental, physical, emotional, whatever. See the results and you want to keep it up. So then it's on you to keep up those habits that you have in place. Once you do those habits for enough years, it becomes a lifestyle. Once it's a lifestyle, you don't even think about it. I don't even think about drinking a gallon anymore.
Yeah.
I just do. It's what I do. I don't think about whether I should go to the gym or not. I do. It's who I am. I don't think about being active. I had to sit longer than usual today because I was doing some programming and I didn't have clients. They all canceled on me. I had 4 clients cancel on me today. And so I'm sitting around and it just drove me nuts. I needed to move. I need to move. It's who I am now, and you might think I was born this way. I was not born this way. When I was little, I was so content to just sit for hours and read and think and dream up scenarios in my head. I was a thinker and a dreamer and I love to read. That's what I like to do. I could have sat for hours. You could not get me to run and play outside. I was not that person, but now I am because I decided to be. So that's kind of what I've learned throughout this whole journey. And then I've also learned that I need to do something for me because once I say I'm going to do something, I cannot not do it.
Yeah.
I will finish it to the end. So I got to be careful what I say yes to. But also, if you ask me to do something with you, it's really hard for me to say no.
Yeah.
So,
one thing that I love that we added to our 75 hard though from the very first round that we did it is we do a nightly check-in with each other. So we'll screenshot our end of the day checklist. And we always touch base with each other. And if one of us doesn't respond within a certain amount of time, or one of us is going to bed, we'll be like, hey, you better get your stuff done. Send me your check-in. I'm out. Wake up the next morning, there's a check-in. But I think that's been a huge piece for us. And even now she's done. I got like 40 days left to go. I'm sending it to her every night. So,
but I mean, then I can come back and be like, hey, I did everything except this.
Yes.
And if I like cheated on my macros or something, I would tell you now.
Right.
Like I'd be like, well, I went over on this.
Right.
Blah, 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 blah. or I didn't drink all my water today, or I
Yeah.
didn't hit my step goal, or blah, 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 blah. Like, I still have the same goals.
Yeah,
But I think we started doing that because we didn't want to forget a stupid little thing like taking a
Yes.
progress picture. So
yeah,
it's literally like us making sure the other one gets it done, but
Yeah.
also it is, hey, it's an extra step of accountability.
Yeah.
So that, I'm not knocking that.
no,
Have that in your life no matter what you're doing. If you're doing a weight loss shit, you know, a weight loss phase, a diet, fitness phase, whatever you're doing, whatever challenge it is, have someone that holds you accountable, someone to check in with.
Yeah.
Just be sure at the beginning that you're doing it for you and not for them.
Yep.
If that makes sense. And they're not doing it for you, but you're giving them permission to hold you accountable and to give you that tough love. And then you got to know that that person is going to do that. And
Yeah.
that kind of, leads me into something that happened last week that really kind of made me think about this challenge, and made me think about how much I struggle. This is a little relationship thing I'm learning with myself. How much I struggle with people that don't follow through, because you always want people to be exactly like you. And if I say I'm going to do something, I am 1000% going to do it on time, with my full effort, and I'm going to finish it. Like, I am going to do it. If I don't do it, if I show up late, if I have to cancel, I feel really bad about it. And it's like really big deal. So if I have people that ask me to do, I've had people ask me to do stuff and then wig out. It happened to me a while back, when I was playing football. So I had a friend that asked me to play on the football team because they had somebody that got sick and they needed a replacement. And so I joined her flag football team. And then she started missing practices, and she was the quarterback. And it was a really big deal. And I kind of got to know the coaches. They would have me run warm-ups. They made me team captain. I was like all in, because I don't do things halfway. So I'm like all in. I'm everyone's hype girl. They're like, we want you to be team captain. We want you to be like running the warm-ups, all this stuff. And then they came to me and they were like, hey, we need our quarterback to start making practices. And I went to her and I was like, girl, you are the quarterback. We need you to come to practices. And then she came back with some like, hey, they're not even running plays. We're only doing drills. I don't even think this is worth it. This is not a big deal. Get off my back. I'm really busy with work, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you signed up for this. You need to follow through. Like, you need to be at practices. And I gave her some tough love, and she kind of wrote me off. And I think they ended up getting another quarterback or something. And she was real pissed off at me. And I was like, look, you asked me to join this thing and I'm all in, and then you went out. Like, this is because I'm holding people to the exact same standard I hold myself to. And I feel like people should be the exact same as me. Here's the deal with relationship, guys. The way that you grow is by being friends with people whose strengths are your weaknesses and your strengths are their weaknesses, not people that are the exact same as you. And so the other day, this
I don't even know
happened.
what you're gonna say.
You don't?
I
Oh, I
mean,
thought you knew.
no, I mean, I do, but I'm just curious what
I'm
your
learning
take on
how to
this is.
communicate. Okay, so I get really frustrated, and it's hard for me to trust people once that has happened. And so so a lot of the times if somebody asks me to do something and then they back off, I kind of just write them off as a friend. And I know that's a flaw in me because I need to have grace for people, but it's like, you kind of let me down. And so this girl gets me to sign up. I actually haven't even signed up. Have you signed up yet?
I have.
Oh, send me
actually.
the link. Okay, because I need to sign up. I'm doing it. I mean, do you have any doubt that I'm doing it? I've been trained. She got me to sign up for this, or to agree to run this race that I'm so excited for. And it was her idea, and I was so excited about it. So then I've been texting her like, hey, have you been running? Have you been running? We're gonna run this together. Have you been running? And I kind of didn't think she was running. I know you did that one time. You tagged me in your post, and I was like, yay, she's running. And I, like, in my heart, I'm scared that she's gonna wig out, and I'm gonna be stuck doing it without her. And so I was texting her one day and I really pushed her to run, and it was not a very nice text. But I'm like freaking out because I'm like, she's not gonna follow through, and she's not gonna be there for me, and she's
How
not
many
going
times have I
to.
done that to you? Have I wigged out on you a lot? Have I backed out of a lot of stuff
I'd have
to
to
give
think
you that
about it.
reason?
I don't
to
know
think?
that you have. I think people have.
Sure, okay,
You know?
fair, but
I think the one time was probably the 75 hard,
Sure.
but I always am
You just
testing people
assume.
because I
Yeah.
assume that people are not going to follow through, and it surprises me when they do.
Yeah.
Like, I get surprised.
Yeah.
But you're probably right. You're probably onto something. I have no business putting that on you because other people have done that to me.
Yeah,
You know?
I do.
Okay, so give me your side of the story here. Cause then you posted a screenshot about how you went on a run, but you didn't tell me, you just posted it.
Oh, I
girlfriend
posted the
did go
conversation
run.
because I was pissed off about it, but
Yes.
I mean, listen, I have every intention of doing the race, but the thing that pissed me off about it was, I don't know, something about at what time frame you were gonna run it in or whatever, and I'm like, I'll meet you at the finish line, and that surprised you.
Yeah,
But
it did.
it surprised you, but like this, I've said from the beginning, you jumped in right away when I said,
Yep.
let's do this race, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna run it in this amount of time, and I have said multiple times, my only goal is to finish
Yeah.
this race.
But one time I told you, and this, I maybe took this a little too important, but one time I told you my time frame and your response,
Yeah,
I don't think you meant it this way, but your response was, oh, I could, it was like, I could totally do that. I did that last time. So I'm thinking in my head, oh, she's going to do that again.
no, I don't care what time I finish, I literally don't care, I just wanna
Okay.
finish the race, that, like, that's,
Communication,
like,
guys. That's the whole
100%.
goal about this.
Yeah.
That's the whole goal. And you have to learn that you can't put other experiences on different people.
Yeah,
Just because I've had, clients, friends, dude, I had to learn this, you guys. As a trainer and a nutritionist, I will jump on any friend that comes to me. I still fall for this all the time and wants help. I want to help them so bad, and they're my friend. I go through so much work writing them programs, agreeing to train them in person, training them for competitions, getting them to start nutrition, writing them meal plans. I will put in hours of work, not getting paid because they're my friends, only to see them fall off the wagon, in a matter of a few weeks, maybe a few months. But it's on me because I haven't learned that lesson. But you have to learn the lesson of not just assuming everyone else is going to be that way.
yeah, so I responded back to her about, I will meet you at,
Meet me at
my
the
own,
finish line.
yeah, but my only goal is to finish, and you're like, okay, go run.
Yeah, but in my head it was like, okay, go run.
Oh,
Like,
that's not the way it ran.
No, I
at
know.
all.
That was in my head because I'm like walking. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
go run. I want
Yes.
you to finish well. Like, go do your run.
Oh, so I put her on do not disturb for the rest of the day, and
Which
I
I didn't
ran.
even know until you told me that. I just figured you were
I was
me
so
out.
pissed off.
Yeah, but she ran, and I'm so sorry. That was not the right way for me to handle it. I was stressing out
Also-
because I thought you were gonna not run the
Sure,
race.
but also in the back of my head, and I should have said this out loud, but I think you and I both know my April has been shit.
I know.
Like,
That's why I was like,
like, I
this
can't
girl's
get
not gonna
away
run.
from a lot of like just heavy shit is going on in my life,
It is.
right? And I have no intention of bailing on anything, but I also have only so much mental space right now, and so I needed a break.
This is why we have these, because one of us is gonna assume the other person is gonna bail.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna bail because it's freaking tattooed on our
And I feel like it's gonna take a few things of me inviting you to do a few things, or you inviting me to do a few things, and us to actually complete those things for you to be like, okay, this girl's got me, she's got me.
But also, I need to have grace because it's okay to back out.
Sure.
It is okay, especially with the stuff you've been dealing with. That's okay, and I need to know that just because you back out of something one time doesn't mean that I have to never run a race with you again because I always think good about that.
Right, and also, but in the back of my head, I'm like, I don't wanna let her down, right? Like, that's how important it is to me, because I know it would disappoint her, and there's nothing worse than disappointing her for me, right? So, like, it's.
Therapy on air, y'all. Okay, if this brought up any situations for you that you want to ask us questions about, please leave them in the comments. But I do have a question. I have a question I stuck up at question box on my Instagram. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Lamery183. If you want to follow Robin, it is at robin.winkler.86. 96. I was so close.
I literally don't know where those
close.
numbers came from.
Okay, mine, if you scroll back
I know.
long enough, you'll find out where the 183 comes from. Okay, we're not gonna go there. All right, got a question. Okay, this is I really want it. Okay, I want to hear your take on this. Okay, I need your take on how to handle gossipers. They're really getting on my nerves. Okay, I had to push on a little on this one. I wanted some details, so I said, "Hey, give me some details on this. Are they gossiping to you, like directly? Like, are you hearing the gossip from them, and you're like, nah, 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 I don't want to hear it? Are they gossiping about you? Is this an issue? Are they talking behind your back, backstabbing, all that? Or is it just happening around you and it's affecting your energy? Are they your friends? Do you have any sort of say relationship, any sort of say in it, or is it just the community they are a part of? You know, now it's like, this is so good, I want to talk about it. So she said gossiping around me about things that they don't know about. So I'm guessing it's something that's very near and dear to her heart or important, or she knows things. She hears the gossip going around. It's obvious to her that they don't know what they're talking about, but it's still going around her. And then she did say we do have a good relationship, but every time she calls them out, she feels like things gets strained.
Listen. Shut. I
Take
say,
the floor, my friend.
I say, shut that shit down. And if they don't like what you have to say, then are they really truly a good friend to you, right? Like, if it's a situation that's important enough to you to shut it down, shut it down. Otherwise, just walk away. But like, at the end of the day, I think gossip is such bullshit, and you have to stand up to these people, you know? And if you know what you're talking about, insert yourself into their conversation, because they're talking loud enough because they want to get a reaction, right? Give it to them. Sorry.
And not necessarily joining in and be like, hey guys, this is actually the truth, because it might not be your place to say that.
Right.
But you could say, hey, I know that that's not the case. You don't know what you're talking about. So
Exactly.
like, you
Like,
don't have anything nice to say.
just
say.
stop. Like, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no tolerance. Zero.
It's really zero BS.
Zero.
Why I love her. So
Oh,
this
no.
girl right here is a people pleaser. And so I have a hard time, I would have a hard time with that, because when I'm around you, I want to make you happy. And most importantly, I want you to be happy with me. So yes, I have high standards, but I'm also a little bit worried that I stay on your good side all the time. So that's why I like having this girl as like a filter. I can filter things through her. I can vent to her, and I want to make a difference between gossiping and venting, because sometimes, okay, gossip, I believe the very definition is you're talking about a situation that you are not a part of.
Yeah.
Venting to somebody is different. Venting has to do with you. You have a problem, and you either need to verbally process it with someone, or you need them to help you find a solution. So it might sometimes feel like you're gossiping if someone else is in the scenario, which usually it is. Like when I vent to you, there's usually somebody else that I'm venting about.
Right.
But it's very deeply connected to me.
Right.
Okay, so it's my personal thing. I tell Robin and Robin only in that conversation. It is just the two of us. A lot of the time it's like, this doesn't leave the room. And I'm looking for her advice. I'm looking to have, what should I do in this situation? How should I respond? Maybe I just want you to hear it and be like, yeah, that really sucks,
But I get real pissed off.
Or I'm looking for that reaction because I'm such a people pleaser. I may not have an intense enough reaction that I need her to be like, who can I get? Just show me the person. I got you. Honestly, guys, I wouldn't mess with this one. I kind of want to see that happen. So yeah, I hope that helps with the whole gossiping thing.
Yeah. Ugh.
Have you ever had to deal with gossip?
Do you remember where we used to work?
Give me some specific examples. When have you had to go to someone and shut it down?
Oh gosh, oh gosh. Oh, just so many situations, especially like in the previous job we used to work.
Yeah.
Literally, you could hear the conversations in the lobby, and I would literally walk out of my office and then sort myself right, because you know they have no idea what they're talking about. It could be somebody got fired. It could be the schedule got changed. It could be the agreement got changed or the prices changed. And just the venom that would spew from some
Yeah.
of these people, and they absolutely had no clue where it came from, how the situation started, or, you know, especially when it comes to somebody getting fired or something like that.
Well, and it comes from corporate, but it filters through the manager and the trainer.
Yep.
And so the only faces they have to blame or talk about it is the manager and the trainer.
Right. Well, and the
We don't
reason,
make these decisions.
right, and the reason why I'm not gonna sit in my office and listen to this filter, because negativity just like ripples through a gym, right? It will ripple through. So the sooner you can shut it down and switch the narrative from negative to positive, the quicker it will blow over.
And I want to, like, there is something like that there is such a thing as social skills, right? And so, yes, we want to be polite, we want to be kind, we want to be, we want to speak in a way that's, nice. And like, if you walk into Walmart and someone greets you and asks you how you're doing, if you're not doing good that day, you lie and you say, great, how are you?
Yeah.
That's social skills. Not everyone needs to know your business.
Right.
But if it's a circle that you're somewhat close to, it doesn't have to be your friends. Maybe it's at your church, maybe it's at your gym, maybe it's at your workplace. If it's somewhere where you at least have a little bit of relationship, it's okay to be firm and sit and call it out and say, hey guys, we're actually gossiping about this right now, and I don't think it's helpful to this situation. So I would just suggest that we kind of keep our opinions to ourselves. And if we really do have an issue, that we take it to the appropriate person.
Yeah.
And if you say it like that, it's gonna be like oh yeah, let's be adults. Let's act like adults.
Yeah.
Let's change our heads. It's totally okay to call it out in that specific scenario. Call things like it is. Let's be adults, let's be mature, let's not do things like gossip behind people's backs or about things we don't know about and spread negative energy around.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to happen.
Nope.
Positive vibes only. Okay, so how's your day going? Just as a closing note, we're about to kill a workout.
Yeah,
we're about to
which we already worked out. We already did a really good
By the
arm
way, your
workout.
arms are looking real nice and lean. Everyone's I must have a good trainer.
Oh, she's a professional, she told.
Like, I do it really.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So yeah, we're about to kill a workout. We would love to keep, taking your questions on relationships, on, hey, health and fitness. I can give you free advice on this podcast. So put your questions down below. And yeah.
Or just topics, what you guys want to hear us talk about. Like this is fun for us. So it's therapeutic.
Yeah.
We learn something every
If
time
you
we
have
sit
questions
down
about our relationship, you want us to have another therapy session on there, we're here for it. We're here for it.
Just stay tuned for the next text combo screenshots. So
also, yes, follow us on Instagram. We're very real. We're very open. Hashtag humble. And that is episode 4.